Hello and welcome to one of the most remote places I have ever been. Welcome to paradise.
There are places in the world that feel completely disconnected from everything else. And the Togean Islands are one of them. Tucked away somewhere in Central Sulawesi, these islands are so far from the beaten path that it truly feels like you're leaving the world behind. Home to the Bajo people, a seafaring tribe who have lived in harmony with the ocean for centuries, the Togeans offer some of the most amazing natural beauty I have ever seen. Crystal clear waters, dense jungles,
Oh my god.
and a unique marine life. Here, it's not about rushing or chasing anything. It's about slowing down and rediscovering the simple things. No internet, barely any electricity, just the raw beauty of island life.
Turtle!
Which honestly is exactly what I've been needing lately.
Let's do this! Honestly, after that long journey to get here, I feel like I'm still sleeping or something, like I'm just dreaming this entire island. So one of the reasons why the Togean Islands are such a hidden paradise is because getting here is not that easy. So let me take you back a little bit and show you what it took me to get here.
To get here, you can't just hop on a flight or cruise through well-trodden paths. No, you're gonna have to put in some effort.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
It all starts with a 12-hour shared car ride to a place called Gorontalo. Be prepared for some crazy driving. And also, don't expect many breaks along the way, because apparently they don't really do those here. Just one quick 5-minute lunch stop was all we got.
I think maybe here. Yes. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
I'm Flora.
Nice to meet you.
This way?
Yes, please.
Okay. How can sitting in a car be so exhausting?
From Gorontalo, a ferry departs to the islands. But the tricky thing is that it only leaves twice a week. And you can't book a ticket in advance. Instead, you just show up at the port and pray they've still got space.
Okay, I managed to get a ticket. We're going to Togi. Terima kasih.
But once you're on the ferry, it's actually surprisingly comfortable. There's a nice deck to hang out on. The views are beautiful. And the bunk beds are decent. Although definitely not made for tall people. The overnight ferry takes about 13 hours and it will drop you off in Wakai. But even then, you're not quite done because you still need to hop onto another boat to get to your accommodation on one of the islands. So yeah, you're looking at about 50 hours total to get here.
Terima kasih.
Careful.
Bye.
But you just have to trust the process because eventually it leads to somewhere beautiful and it makes all the effort worth it.
So I am currently staying on an island called Bolilanga, and it is basically a private island with about 7 to 8 tiny little wooden cabins on it, and it is such a cozy, peaceful, quiet place. So this right here is my bungalow. It's really very basic, but it's got everything you need. There is no electricity, only for a couple hours in the evening, which is just enough time to charge your stuff. And there's no Wi-Fi either, no internet, so you're really completely disconnected. Let me show you inside. So we have the front porch, which has this really nice hammock, which I love and spend a lot of time in. It's the perfect place to relax in after a very hard, long day of snorkeling and swimming and doing yoga and eating so much delicious food. And then the indoor area, which is very simple, and I actually spent very little time in here. It's just for sleeping. It's actually quite spacious. So right here we have all my stuff, my camera gear, which I can charge right here during the night when it comes on. Then we have a very nice double bed with a very necessary mosquito net as well, because there are a lot of mosquitoes here and they're actually quite aggressive and painful. There's also a fan, which I don't really get why, because we don't have electricity most of the day or the night, so there's like no really any use in that one. And then over here we have the bathroom. Again, very simple, but it does the job. Cold shower, no hot shower, but not really necessary here anyway.
Oh, and it also comes with a free dog. Meet Sambo.
And the best part about this place is that it actually fits within a backpacker's budget. I pay 400,000 rupiahs a night, which is roughly 24 euros. And for that you don't only get accommodation, your own private bungalow, but also 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, as well as unlimited amounts of coffee, tea and water. So I would say that is pretty good value. However, if you don't like this island, there are many more places to choose from here on the Togean Islands, so there's something for everyone.
Life here on the island is beautifully simple. The kind of simple that feels like a refreshing change from the usual rush of everyday life. My mornings, of course, begin with some coffee. Then I usually head towards the pier, which has quickly become my favorite spot to just be and watch the world wake up. After finishing my coffee, I do some journaling. And I also like to start my days here with a yoga session. Not the worst spot for it, I would say. After that, it's time for a simple but delicious breakfast served in the communal space. Then the rest of the day unfolds slowly. I'll just read a book while lying in my hammock and go for many ocean dips.
Okay, before I head back into the water, I want to say a quick thank you to Surfshark for sponsoring this video and for keeping me safe when I am actually part of the online world. Because believe it or not, most of the time I'm actually not on a remote tropical island disconnected from everything, but I am traveling through airports and staying in hotels and working from public cafes, all of in which I am connected to the public Wi-Fi. And public Wi-Fi can be a goldmine for hackers and snoopers that are trying to get your personal information. But thanks to Surfshark, I do not have to worry about that. If you're not familiar with Surfshark, it is a VPN service standing for Virtual Private Network, and it basically serves as a protective layer over all your online activity. What it does is it encrypts your internet connection so that all the important stuff stays secure and safe. But a VPN actually isn't all about security. My personal favorite part is that it allows you to basically access any content from anywhere in the world. For example, I recently started rewatching Friends for like the 10th time, but it actually wasn't available on Netflix Indonesia. However, it was available on Netflix in the UK. So with Surfshark, I just changed my virtual location and then I can just keep watching it. So if you don't already have a VPN, I can highly recommend Surfshark. It's the only VPN that allows you to use one account on unlimited devices. And if you use the link in my description, you can get 4 months for free. Plus, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So there's absolutely no harm in trying it out. You can either go to surfshark.com/gunning or just simply click the link in my description box down below. Okay, I am sweating so much right now, so it's time to get back in the water.
The rest of the afternoon is mostly just spent in the ocean, hanging out with the other travelers on the island.
Honestly, you don't see that many solo travelers here, I have to admit. Thus far, I have been the only one. But there are definitely other travelers. Most people here are like couples or even some families as well. So yes, it is remote here, but there are still people. So you can be alone if you want to, but you don't have to. It's actually really easy to meet people here because all the meals are communal, so you eat together, and every night we do something, like either we play games or someone makes music or we just chat, and yeah, it's been really nice.
Write down all the things that you're grateful for. I always go for coffee and the food that I eat.
It's the kind of peace and simplicity you'd think would be easy to embrace. But as I spend more time here, I realize how hard it is to actually be still and do nothing. Because in the end, there were still so many hours in the day left, and I kind of started not really knowing what to do with myself. I'm so used to being constantly on the move and always being productive, or honestly, whenever I do have a quiet moment, just grabbing my phone and scroll to distract myself. But with none of that being an option here, there's this nagging feeling that I'm just wasting my time. So pretty quickly, the urge to stay busy kicks in, and I find myself looking for anything to fill the space, anything to keep me moving.
Okay, so even though this is a very small island, the people here told me that apparently there's a little hike that you can do, and I think this is it. Gotta keep yourself busy, you know? It's so slippery. Oh no, oh no. Oh, yeah, that's what I thought. Hey, look who's there! Did you follow me all the way up here? Oh, do you want to go back? Okay, let's go. Lead the way, my friend. I think it's this way, but you do whatever you want.
And then I come up with the next thing to keep myself occupied.
So, over the last few weeks, I've actually been training for my first ever marathon that I want to run this year. However, one little problem, this island is so incredibly small that I cannot run here. I mean, I could run down and up the pier, but I think that's gonna get boring very, very soon. So I was thinking I might just take my training into the water because there's plenty of it. I think I'm gonna try to make a loop around the entire thing and get in my cardio in that way, I guess. So while flying my drone, I actually saw this like little beach on that side of the island. So I'm gonna try and see if I can swim there, maybe somehow get there. Let's do this! Found it! Oh. That was good.
And the next thing.
So I have decided I am going to teach myself how to do a backflip. In there. No! Why does that happen? Am I really gonna embarrass myself like this on the internet? Yeah, I'm not even gonna say anything about that one. I have no idea what that was. Okay, that's it. Enough for today.
But in a place like this, there is gonna come a time where you run out of things to do. And at first, that feels a little uncomfortable. But then it kind of forces you to realize that it's okay to let the quiet just be there without needing to fill it with something.
First night in a long time that I slept this good.
And slowly, I started to let go of the need to always be productive. I kept doing yoga, but it became more about finding calmness and not about working up a sweat. I kept reading, but not the self-development kind I usually do. This time, it was just a silly fiction, just for the joy of it. And then there were those moments where I would just sit and dramatically stare out over the ocean, listening to the waves and pretending like I'm some sort of movie character. And the island has a funny way of giving back, when you stop chasing distractions and simply start enjoying what's right in front of you.
They're so beautiful.
I think this place is slowly teaching me that doing nothing isn't a bad thing. We are so used to measuring our worth by how productive we are, but I think real peace comes from letting go of that. In fact, sometimes doing less is exactly what we need.
If I'm being completely honest, I didn't just come here for the beautiful views and the pretty beaches. And I'm aware that this video is probably going to be very different from my usual, more action-oriented adventure kind of content, but honestly I think I really needed this time to recharge a little bit, to slow down a little bit. The last couple months have been probably some of the most difficult ones of my life. I just really needed to find some peace. I guess what I am trying to say is that it is okay to slow down for a little bit and to take care of yourself, to prioritize yourself, I guess. Not every day needs to be a grind, jumping from one adventure into another. And I guess that is what I'm really learning myself right now. And yeah, I just feel really lucky and grateful to be here right now, to be able to reset in a place like this, to be able to clear my mind and hopefully come back feeling more like myself again. Big turtle! Yeah, big one! Right there. You just missed it. It was like this.
But even if you're not here looking for peace, there is still so much to explore on the Togean Islands. And it definitely doesn't just have to be about finding stillness. For me too, I still wanted to discover some of the island's wonders. And luckily, there is no shortage of amazing places to visit here.
Okay, so this next place we are visiting is actually a very unique place. There are not many places like this in the world. And it's called Mariona Lake, also known as Stingless Jellyfish Lake. And I guess the name already kind of gives it away, but it is a lake filled with thousands and thousands of stingless jellyfish.
Apparently, thousands and thousands of years ago, this lake got sealed off from the sea by a sudden geological change. And over time, the jellyfish in this isolated lake evolved to be stingless, as they didn't need them anymore, since there were no predators here to worry about.
This is absolutely amazing. Wow, I've never seen anything like this. There are so many. Ooh, and they feel so funny, like so slippery and jelly, I guess. Ugh.
But the Togean Islands aren't just about incredible nature. They also have a fascinating culture to explore. So our next stop was to visit one of the nearby villages, to get a glimpse of what life here looks like.
So, the Togean Islands are actually home to the Bajo people, which are also known as the Sea Gypsies of Southeast Asia. And you might actually know them from the documentary on Netflix called Jago, which was actually recorded right here in this village that we are in right now. Basically, what makes this tribe so special is that their life revolves around the sea. They live on these beautiful stilted houses in the ocean, and they have these boats called lepa-lepas that they build themselves. They depend on the ocean for their food, for their livelihoods, and the coolest thing about them is that they are masters in freediving. So apparently their bodies have become so adapted that they can actually freedive, so without scuba gear, up until 60 to 70 meters. And they can hold their breath for an incredible amount of time. Basically their spleens are bigger than ours, so they can hold their breath underwater for longer. Same with their vision. Apparently their vision have also adapted to be able to see better underwater in the dark. Their abdominal muscles are evolved so that they can release air more gradually underwater, which also allows them to free dive for longer. And yeah, honestly, it makes them like these masters of the sea, you know, like true sea gypsies. I don't think it's a very easy life, to be honest. The village is very basic. I don't think there is electricity. It's a very simple life, but it's also a very beautiful life in a way.
Finally, if you are a wildlife lover, the Togean Islands is also the place for you. Before heading back, we made one final stop to do a quick trek through the jungle. And sure enough, we weren't disappointed, spotting some really incredible creatures here.
Whoa! They're so big! So many!
Whoa. Oh my god.
But after more than a week here, the time has finally come to leave the Togean Islands. I've already stayed quite a bit longer than planned, and with my visa running out soon, I had no choice but to rush and catch a local boat back to the mainland. The boat was absolutely packed with people and goods, and it was a long 8-hour ride. But as uncomfortable as this journey was, it felt like a fitting ending. Because these islands have shown me that sometimes discomfort is exactly what we need to grow. Although maybe not in the way we expected. To me, it wasn't just the beauty of the nature or the culture that makes the Togean Islands so special. It was the simplicity of life and the quiet moments and the peace that can be found here too. Sometimes all we need is a little space to breathe, to disappear for a while, and let the world fade away. Just long enough to remember who we really are.